too quiet. Oh, man. A lot of stuff's going on. A lot of stuff is happening with everything, everybody, our country, individuals, programs, projects, things. Yep, whether mineral, noun, or mechanical, whatever. Anyway, wow, things are just weird, man. They're upside down. The whole thing with the IRS, the thing with I don't even remember all of it anymore. Benghazi, whatever. I'm not talking about that crap. Anyway, it's like we live in the Twilight Zone. But here's the update on the Ned Boy and Wilbur Stauber stable of fine quality entertainment. The Misadventures of Fran and Teddy and WOOO Woo Radio China have taken a little hiatus. We're still doing our thing, believe me. Both programs in their entirety as they're created live before a studio audience in full Technicolor fashion, as it were. One nestled in the foothills of China and a little rusted out dump of a has-been past tense radio station, part of the old Cold War era, and that's Kung Pao and Sisishu, or the 1950s yet modern days, set in modern days, but with a 1950s slant, The Misadventures of Fran and Teddy. With the weird old commercials we all love, the black and white, Bucky toothbrush, Beaver this and that, and, Nestle Quick and Mikey that likes anything, especially Life cereal. Both shows are cult classics. I don't mean particular episodes. I'm talking about the concept, the shows, the franchises, whatever you want to call them. But the entities, the shows themselves, are a huge hit. We have many, many fans. We have hundreds of thousands of fans. Actually, over 1,700,000 and whatever thousand now worldwide. And that's pretty neat. We have listeners in Germany, a lot of listeners in West Germany. Don't ask me why. Very few in East Germany. The East Germans don't really like us that well. Africa. We recently gained listeners in Yugoslavia. That's neat. Our friends in Yugoslavia, I'd like to say hello. Hi, friends in Yugoslavia. We have listeners in Australia, the great country, the mother country as it were, of England. Hello, all you Brits. We know you like us. We've gotten some really weird emails from you, but we take them. We actually compile all of our emails, and we will eventually turn them over to the government. Just like Verizon has. Just so you know, if you send us an email, we're sending it to the government. Straight away as it were. Especially our friends in England. We don't trust you. We love you, but we don't trust you. I'm kidding. No, there are emails. We're going to take them and put them in a little folder on our desktop. There it is, a little pink folder on the desktop with the Brits emails. Hello. Yeah, the entire fan base is spread out all over the world. I'm just getting started. We have fans in China. We have, in China alone, I would say we probably have, I think we have something like 25, 26, let me look it up. 20, it's actually gone up. 28. We have 28, over 28 million listeners. That's hard to believe because our show's not done in Chinese, but it's done in a Chinese fashion. True Chinese fashion, with Chinese garb. We even have a weird looking headdress piece that they used to wear like back in the Ming Dynasty. I'm not kidding. It's hanging on the wall. It's actually a dragon head. It's kind of like a geisha girl dragon head. And we take that thing during Halloween. It's really weird. We put it on this skeleton with a light on it. It's a really big hit in the neighborhood where the office is located. By the way, both shows are brought to you live when they're being done, of course, but live from Burbank, California. Why Burbank? Well, because we don't like Hollywood. And we don't like Los Angeles. And we don't like New York. I'm kidding. We love New York. We like New York a lot, especially the little diner on the corner of 42nd and Park. That's a neat little diner. There's a girl there named Karen. Just go in, tell Karen Kung Pao says hello. She'll fix you up with the special house chili. It's homemade chili. They call it the house chili. And while you're eating it, they normally have some kind of weird music, like acid house music. I don't know if you remember that from back in the 80s. It was really weird. Kind of like alternative music when it first came out. It was very experimental, very progressive, very hip, very cool, very young, very weird. But Karen will give you one hell of a bowl of chili. They also have vegetarian chili there, too. It's the Little Cafe. That's what it's called, the Little Cafe. That's the name of it. I'm not just saying, hey, it's a little cafe. The Little Cafe on the corner of 42nd and Park in New York. That's one of our favorite hangouts. We go there quite a bit. There's also a Barney's Coffee Shop. Did I say Barney's? I'm sorry. Starbucks, that's what I meant. Anyway, Barney's Coffee Shop. Has there ever been a Barney's Coffee Shop? Do you know? Has there ever been a Barney's Coffee Shop? We don't know. But anyway, Starbucks is what I meant. So pretend I didn't say Barney's. That's stupid. Especially if there's never been a Barney's Coffee Shop. It makes me feel retarded. I really feel like cussing tonight because I'm so pissed off at everything, but I'm not going to because I'm a Christian. Yeah, that's right. But I'm telling you, everything is just on hold temporarily. We are working on a brand new episode. By definition, everything happens on the fly. It's a cult classic. Every episode, before it's done, before we actually perform the episode, it's actually considered a cult classic. And the reason I say that is because of the sheer following. I mean, we have millions. I said 1.7. I wasn't taking into consideration China. I'm talking about in the U.S. But worldwide, total, we probably have like 80 million. I haven't done all the math. Anyways, I need to get a calculator that goes that high. But my calculator sucks. It's an old Texas Instruments calculator. It's one from many years ago that you could walk into Sears and as a kid, it's like, oh, wow, look at this. The electronic stuff. The calculators, they'd have them like pinned down. They have like these little straps strapping the bastards down so you can't, you can't steal it. I mean, I didn't want to, but you couldn't really use it that easily either. It was strapped down, and it was real crappy looking displays, and it would be either like a weak looking red or a weak looking green or a weak looking blue display. So anyway, the moral of the story is we have millions of listeners. I'd say 80 plus million worldwide. and growing. We have advertisers all over the place. It's really phenomenal. The advertising department's been working overtime. We have promotions that we're working on. Yeah, it's pretty neat. It is pretty interesting, but the American invasion, it's going to be wild, where the Kung Pao and Sisishu take America by storm, and they actually make several appearances. It's a tour, not a world tour, but a U.S. tour. America, the American invasion. WOOO, Woo, Radio China. And so Sisishu is actually on a hunting expedition in the Cayman Islands right now. Believe it or not, hunting for squid, because there's a certain place in the Cayman Islands, it's very deep, it's like 2,000 feet deep, and there are giant squid. And I know what you were thinking when I said Cayman Islands. You were thinking Cayman, the alligators, the Cayman, Sisishu's hunting Cayman. No. Sisishu's hunting giant squid. And all with a cheap snorkel bought from, I don't even know the name of it, Penny Pincher, I guess. Anyway. But a cheap snorkel and a waterproof flashlight and a waterproof camera. Can't wait to see the pictures. Kung Pao, he's working on increasing the strength of the tower, even though they're in the lower part of the foothills of China. The radio station's pretty neat. It's a little rusted, kind of dated radio station from back in the Cold War era, but the power is unbelievable. It's very strong. It's a clear channel signal. I don't mean clear channel like the company Clear Channel Communications. It's a term used for radio broadcast, one where a clear channel station, it's a channel that is able to cut through the crap, so to speak. It has an incredible coverage area. The wattage does not necessarily have to be bigger, but in this case, I sound like I'm getting technical, and it sounds boring, but you have to hear this because it's the truth, and the truth is never a bad thing. It's informative, and I find it interesting and entertaining. It's warm and fuzzy. But what clear channel signal is, 100,000 watt station, is 100,000 is the biggest you can get. You can also have a 300,000 watt station, but 100,000 watts is generally the biggest. That's the most the FCC will allow. And even though we're talking about globally, the FCC has its hands in everything, because the FCC, make no mistake about it, is a branch of the government, and they do govern what happens worldwide. So they do. Other countries actually fall into submission. Submit yourself. Submit yourself. Hey, pod that mic up. Just pod the mic up. No. Okay, pod the mic down. I repeat, pod the mic down. Pod it up. Pod it down. Pod it up. Pod it down. Pod it up. Pod it down. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just an update. Just an update. Why? Because we don't mince words. I didn't want to have... We took a... It was actually a group of us that voted on what we were going to call this update. And instead of coming up with something clever, something creative, something off the wall, something obscure, something fun and exciting and entertaining, and all of the above, maybe a combination of what I had just mentioned to you, we're talking about just being straightforward. Just an update, because we haven't done a show in a long time. And hopefully the update will suffice. But I can tell you this, The listeners that we have around the world, it's really cool, but they're actually purchasing a lot of the weird things that we have being advertised on our network. It's not just big Fortune 500 companies. We have some obscure advertisers as well. Now, we don't sell anything. We don't sell T-shirts. We don't believe in selling stuff. We want to be true to the program. When I say program, not show, the program. What is the program? The program that I'm speaking of is Ned Boy and Wilbur Stolper Productions, not specifically The Misadventures of Fran and Teddy, or specifically WOOO, Woo, Radio China, but the program, the overall concept as to what we're trying to do. What we're trying to do is not just entertain, but entertain in an informative, technological setting, one where you, even though you're hearing information, you can think for yourself. You can think with conjecture. And I'm telling you, what you want to do is you want to have a program that makes you think. It engages you. See, a cult classic, a cult following is a cult show, a cult classic. I don't like saying cult classic. It's an environment. It's an atmosphere. It's not just, hey, there's little one-liners, ha 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 ha, what a funny joke, or look at those cute little characters, or look at that, wow, look at the streaming that they have, look at the incredible design and artwork, wow, look at that, look at the imagination, the creativity, it's everything, it's rhythm, it's rhythmic, it's cosmic. It's something that's intellectually designed, but it's being produced right before your eyes. Nothing's contrived. It's all real. It's from the heart. That's why Kung Pao and Susishu on WOOO Woo Radio China have the most, by far, the absolute most successful, popular, and well-liked program in all of Greater China. And not only that, people in Singapore dig it too. Yeah, they like it as they're getting drunk on... They like it as they're getting drunk on well brands. They like it. What they like about it... Put the guard dogs out in the hall, would you? Yeah, somebody open the studio and let them in. Thank you. All right, the guard dogs are now in the hall. We actually have Rottweilers. We have like 4 Rottweilers, very similar to the ones that were in the original Omen, the movie The Omen. Only ours are better trained. They're well behaved. For example, hang on. Sit. And they sit. All of them, not one, all 4 in unison. Okay, fetch. Well, and they're all 4 fetching in unison. It's incredible. Like I said, they're well trained and a lot better behaved, a lot more behaved, more so than the Omen. I tell you what, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And we'll be back right after these words. Well, we're back as promised. The dogs are doing fine, just in case you were wondering. We have a maintenance crew. The maintenance crew's responsible for all the different sound effects, the lighting in the studio, the cleanliness of the studio. I say studio, studios. I don't know if you were watching, but I was watching over the weekend. It was very interesting. The opening of the new BBC newsroom. It was actually the new building of, it's not just a newsroom, the entire BBC complex, broadcast complex. What's very unique about BBC is they have multiple programs happening simultaneously. I mean, all kinds of different channels and this and that. And it used to be just on radio and TV, but now with the internet and all the different outlets for content, whether it's news, information, weather, sports, music, you name it. Anything that's creatively oriented whatsoever, anything that's content oriented, even narrating, a book, reading a book, a particular reading, for example, The Adventures of Russell Peacock, okay? Anything like that, doesn't matter what it is. It could be a novel that's being read. It can be a poem. It could be somebody's nightmare, somebody's dream, somebody's, innermost fantasies. But all of it's happening simultaneously at the BBC. That is what has been so phenomenal about those guys. And then we acted like, we came up with something great when we, hey, we're going to start satellite radio with all these different channels. But the BBC's been doing that forever. Anyway, over the weekend, they had this grand opening, this big presentation. The Queen actually made the scene. She was given a tour, and they interviewed her in this state-of-the-art, incredible newsroom at the new BBC broadcast facility, and I watched it, but I wasn't watching it on the edge of my seat like, oh my God, I can't believe it's the Queen. I thought, wow, this is pretty cool. This looks like something that, this is neat. It reminds me of the CNN building that I've been to a couple of different times in Atlanta. That's really neat, too. But it's that on turbocharged. It's that probably times, 1,000. It's incredible. So I'm watching that thinking, well, this BBC thing's pretty interesting, but they don't have anything. They have nothing on Ned Boy and Wilbur Stolber Productions. The Ned Boy and Wilbur Stolber stable of fine quality entertainment is to be reckoned with. Don't forget it. We are just beginning. We have many things that we're working on, many things behind the scenes. It's top secret stuff, and we are not going to let the government get a hold of it. Everything that we communicate, nothing I can tell you is via cell phone. Nothing is. We use a chain of communication. We don't even use landlines. What we do is we actually have people. It takes a while to get the message sometimes, but we have different addresses, and once we give the information to the next person, and we do it physically, they have to go to a particular address and give information physically. Then they go to a different address, and so on until it gets to the end result, the person that we're trying to get the message to. That's how we operate at Ned Boy and Wilbur Stolber stable of fine quality entertainment. Ladies and gentlemen, Kung Pao and Susishu and Fran and Teddy and their little son John, they all send you their best. John is actually on a balloon tour, a hot air balloon tour of Italy. And the reason he's doing that is because he actually suffered an accident. He was working part-time for a janitorial service and inhaled some bleach over the course of over half a day. Okay, so imagine being locked in a room for like 4.5 hours, stripping a floor, but having a container of pure bleach. I'm not talking about the 60-40 split, which is what you get in most of your bleach. This bleach was pure bleach. It affected him. He has some very disturbed brain cells. Not all of them, but some of the receptor brain cells are not working properly. So the doctor said, hey, you're going to need to take a balloon flight. I know it sounds stupid, but a long balloon flight. And I don't mean like, ballooning around the world or anything like that. Basically, going ballooning every day for like a couple of months straight. That's what he's been doing anyways in Italy. And he's a little perverted to begin with, so he's playing around up there with some of the girls that help hold the ropes as the balloon's taking off. So he has quite a reputation. I mean, John really likes those balloon girls. I'll tell you, he does. He loves the balloon girls. And Franny is very upset. She went on this diet many years ago. It was some kind of a diet she saw late at night on TV and didn't work. So more recently, she went on this cranberry blaster diet that you guys might be familiar with. It's one of our episodes. And it didn't work. So believe it or not, she's suing Ocean Spray. And Ocean Spray, so far, they're winning. But we really think that Fran has a shot at this thing because we're getting some help from the Bilderbergs. They're actually putting up a lot of money because they, too, some of them are very fat, and some of these guys went on the cranberry blaster diet, and it didn't work. So, to make a long story short, they're joining forces. They're bellying up, as it were, to the old feeding trough, the legal feeding trough, and we're trying to win this lawsuit. So it's really neat the way it's working out, but we feel warm and fuzzy about it, and we would like to hear how you feel about it. Hopefully it's warm and fuzzy just like us. Email us. Oh, here's an email that we just received. This is interesting. Oh, it's a sales email. It's a septic tank company trying to sell us septic service. A better septic, it's better for your tank. What does that mean? A better septic, it's better for your tank. Been servicing septic tanks for 25 years. You can trust us. You can trust us. First of all, I don't trust anybody that says you can trust me. You can trust us. It's like if somebody says, hey, I'm a classy guy. You're not classy. Or a girl that says, hey, I'm a homecoming queen. You're not a homecoming queen. Maybe you were, but you've lost your looks. You're kind of saggy now. Your breasts, they're not what they used to be. And God forbid you have that gene that's precancerous, that says, hey, you might get cancer in the future, and you have to get your breasts removed. What kind of a homecoming queen would have her breasts removed before she had to? So I can just tell you this. I don't agree with having a body part taken off unless you really have to. I mean, if I was told I was going to have prostate cancer, you don't have it now, but you might get it 10 years from now. All right. Well, go ahead and take my prostate out then. Go ahead. No, go ahead and take my prostate out. No, that's okay. Go ahead. You can have it. No, that's okay. You can have it. No, that's okay. You can have it. Just take my... Go ahead. You can take my prostate. Don't touch the prostate. Never mess with another man's rhubarb. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a twisted world. It's a twisted world made up of retarded psychedelic babies living in a retarded world of twisted multicolors. Green, yellow, blue, purple, pink, mauve. Is mauve a color? I mean, they claim it is. It's just a variation. Look at a color chart sometime. Red, is red. Orange is not orange. Orange is a combo. It's a combination of red, blue, and yellow. Red, blue, and yellow make up orange. A lot of people don't know that. Hey, yellow and green really do make blue. Green and yellow really do make blue. Get it? Hey, green and yellow really do make blue. Get it? Hey, green and yellow really do make blue. Get it? I mean, do I have to have the flushing sound effect for you to get it? Let's try it again. Be quiet. Be patient. Let's try it again. Be quiet. Be patient. Look, these guys will be back on the air in just not moments from now. I mean, by definition, everything is just a bunch of moments back to 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 back. I mean, you could say 10 years from now, they're going to be back on the air just moments from now. Yeah, just about 500 million moments from now, they're going to be back on the air. So, I'm just telling you, green and yellow really do make blue. Do I have to have the flushing sound effect for you to get it? Don't you get it? Green and yellow really do make blue. I'm not going to say it. Come on, don't make me say it. One more time for those of you who are just really melted. For those of you that have been sucking on one too many chemtrails. So, who's your chemtrail? Who's your daddy? Who's your chemtrail? You are daddy. Green and yellow really do make blue. Get it? Come on, you gotta get it. I'm not gonna say it. Don't make me say it. I'll give you one hint. I'm flushing the toilet. I'm not gonna even play the sound effect. Just imagine the flushing sound while I say this, okay? Imagine the flushing sound as I say what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna give you a 1, 2, 3 count, and I'll be flushing the toilet. So imagine that flushing sound. When you hear 3, start imagining that, and then I will say my line, okay? And I think it will be clear to you, okay? When you hear the 1, 2, 3 count, once I hit 3 in the 1, 2, 3 count, start imagining. You actually hear. I'm hypnotizing you right now. Look at your computer. Look into the computer. Look into the center. No. Forget about the left or the right. Look into the center. Just look. Kind of unfocus your eyes, like those weird pictures where you could actually see stuff in there. You know what I mean? If you focused your eyes or unfocused your eyes, defocused your eyes just right, you'd be able to see weird stuff like UFOs, whales, planets, all kinds of crazy stuff, man. So I'm hypnotizing you right now. Look into your computer. When I give you the 1, 2, 3 count, on 3, you will hear the sound of a toilet flushing, not fleshing, not F-L-E-S-H-I-N-G, but F-L-U-S-H, flush. You will hear the sound of a toilet flushing, the water swirling as the contents in the toilet as well as the water go down. Now this particular toilet, you're going to make me say it, aren't you? It has toilet cleaner in the back, okay? Little Boy Blue is what we use. Little Boy Blue is what we use. Little Boy Blue in the tank. In the tank. Little Boy Blue is what we use. It's in the tank. It's in the tank, punk. Anyway, so look into your computer. Look into the middle of your computer. I'm going to hypnotize you. When you hear the 1, 2, 3 count on 3, you will hear the sound of your toilet flushing. Not necessarily your toilet, but a toilet. Not a particular toilet. The idea of a toilet. Do you understand? When you hear the 1, 2, 3 count on 3, you will hear the toilet flush. And you'll hear the water as it spirals down, taking with it whatever contents might be in the toilet. Okay, let's try this. Look into the middle of your computer. Stare deeply into the middle of your computer. Forget everything. Put your coffee down. Put that Slim Jim down. You fat ass. Put that Slim Jim down. Quit gnawing on your cud. Quit chewing your cud like a big cow. Quit chewing the cud. I repeat, quit chewing the cud. We're not using a webcam. I repeat, we are not using a webcam. Quit chewing the cud. Stare into the middle of your computer. Breathe deeply. Stop chewing. Stare into the middle of your computer. Forget everything. Forget what is to the left. Forget what is to the right. You're hearing the sound of my voice. I'm going to give you, I'm issuing an official 1, 2, 3 count. On 3, you will literally hear the flushing sound of a toilet. No toilet in particular, but you will hear the flushing sound. And the water as it spirals downward, carrying with it whatever contents may be in the toilet bowl. In the back of this particular toilet, in the tank, as it were, is Little Boy Blue. It's a toilet cleaner. It's a toilet cleaner. And when the toilet bowl fills back up with water, it fills back up with blue water. So, in essence, the water's blue to begin with. I'm painting the picture for you now. I'm painting the picture. It should all be very clear to you now. It's coming clear. It's a piece of art that you are admiring from 10,000 feet up. The piece of art is flat. It's very big on the ground. And as you near the ground, as gravity does its thing, as gravity takes its toll on your position 10,000 feet up, you start nearing the ground. 10,000, 9,000, 8,000, 7,000, 2,000, 500 feet. Now the picture is becoming more clear. That's what I'm doing. I'm painting the picture. Think of me as gravity, and the picture is you taking a leak in this toilet with blue toilet cleaner. Do you understand? Okay, look into your computer, in the middle of your computer, and gaze deeply. I'm going to give a 1, 2, 3 count. On 3, you will hear the flushing sound of a toilet. No toilet in particular, not your toilet, but any toilet. You're going to hear a flushing sound, and the water will be swirling downward and carrying with it whatever contents may be in the toilet. We're beginning with blue toilet water as Little Boy Blue is in the tank. It's a toilet cleaner that projects a blue dye, and the blue dye is evident in the toilet bowl. So you're going to unzip your fly, and you're going to take a leak right into the toilet bowl or sit on the toilet. It's up to you. We are not telling you what to do. We're just making a few suggestions. You're either going to unzip your fly and take a leak or sit down on the toilet and take a leak. Either way, you will see what happens. The effect will be the same. The effect will be the same. I repeat, the effect will be the same. The effect will be the same. Look into the middle of your computer. Forget about everything. Forget about your cares. Forget about your woes. Right now, your attention is mine. And I'm not trying to be a control freak. I'm trying to hypnotize you because this is going to be fun. This experiment works. Stare into the middle of your computer. Lock and load. Stare into the middle of your computer. Lock and load. Stare into the middle of your computer. Lock and load. You will hear a 1, 2, 3 count. On 3, you will hear your toilet no toilet in particular, you will hear a toilet flush. The contents in the toilet and the water will begin a downward spiral. The water is blue to begin with. Green and yellow really do make blue. Just testing you. Blue and yellow really do make green. Blue and yellow really do make green. Are you ready? Are you ready? Blue and yellow really do make green. Are you ready? Blue and yellow really do make green. Are you ready? Okay, let's try it. Stare into the middle of your computer. Forget about your cares. Just stare. Lose yourself. Lose yourself. Lose yourself. Just stare into the middle of your computer. Lose yourself. Lose yourself. Just stare into the middle of your computer right now. As you're hearing the sound of my voice, stare into your computer. Lock and load. Lock and load. You will hear a 1, 2, 3 count. On 3, you will hear the literal sound of a toilet flush. The water, the contents in the toilet bowl will be swirling in a downward spiral. The water is blue to begin with. It's a little clue. Okay, let's try it. This is going to be fun. 1, 2, 3. Blue and yellow really do make green. Do you see what I mean? Blue and yellow really do make green. Blue and yellow really do make green. Well, Kung Pao and Susishu, Fran and Teddy, and Little John, and maybe even the big cat Mike. Don't forget Mark Szymanski. We'll all be coming back to you soon. They miss you. They send their best. And to our 80-plus million listeners around the globe, we appreciate you. And we have not forgotten you. This is just an update from your friends from the Misadventures of Fran and Teddy and from WOOO Woo Radio China and Ned Boy and Wilbur Stolber Productions. Good night.